I absolutely appreciate the fact that I have team members who have completely different skill sets than I do, and I have just an immense appreciation that they can get things done that I simply am not hardwired to do. I'll tell you a little joke about myself, and everybody at my office knows this. I personally have a tagline.
Most salespeople plateau in this career. Look, they work harder, they make more calls, they push for more quotes, but nothing changes. Why? Because they're missing one important skill that most of the top 1% producers have. And the reason I say this is because I realized that was me. Over the last 10 years, I have had the drive. I just never really had the training or the expertise to land these larger, more complex commercial accounts that I wanted. So over the years, I really tried to learn as much as I can from free resources and other agents to try to get better in this industry. And over the years, I was on LinkedIn and other social platforms, and I saw a guy by the name of Brent Kelly who worked at this company called Sitkins Group. One of the founders was named Roger Sitkins, and they posted a lot about sales trainings and leveling up to be not your average producer, right? And to be the best version of yourself possible. And every time they talk about this, it really piqued my interest because I've always wanted to be that best version, right? I've always wanted to be better than average. And so more and more I would watch their content, their free podcast and everything else. I wanted to kind of take that next step. I wanted to make an investment to learn more and more about this. So fast forward to now, I just recently signed up for the Sitkins Group Profit Sales Training course. I'm now in week 2 and I'm really excited because I've learned already some really good nuggets. And I know I'm an agency owner and I'm not just a producer. However, I am doing this to improve my sales, but I'm also doing this for future when I start to hire producers, I'm better equipped to train them and get them rocking and rolling. So for instance, we've already discussed like the 80-20 rule, how 20% of our clients produce 80% of our revenue, right? How bigger clients don't just buy quotes. Your top 1% producers aren't just trying to compete on price. They're going in with strategy and advising and consulting. There's just a different approach to it than trying to quote and beat their price. Or how to learn how to ask better questions when talking to a prospective client. And the most important so far is getting clarity on your ideal customer. Who does that look like? What do they look like? How big of a client is it? And in the future, how many clients of those type of clients do you want, right? To build that, say, $1 million book of business, how many clients is it gonna take? Because if you're writing $1,000 policies and you're gonna need 1,000 clients, and it's just not possible. So you really want less clients, but quality over quantity, right? And so these are the things that I'm learning in this class. And there's been a few people that have asked me, like, why are you taking this? You've already been a producer for 10 years. And this just goes to show, like in this video, I wanted to talk about how important it is to continue to learn, how important education is. Things are always changing. And so we're always trying to adapt to the marketplace and what we're doing and to get better. And if I want to grow this agency to something special, it's going to start with me. If I refuse to learn new things or I think I already know it all, I'm going to be the bottleneck of my own company and I'm never going to get past a certain point. And I never want to be that person. I never want to be closed-minded and think that I know it all, right? So I'm always seeking more knowledge, more education to get better and better. And one area that I knew that I always wanted to get to was writing larger commercial. I've always stuck between that small to middle-sized commercial client, and I always wanted to get to that next level. I never wanted that 1,000 clients at $1,000. I always wanted that 50 clients at $20,000, right? So with all this being said, like part of why I'm doing this is so when I bring on new producers, I could get them ready and locked and loaded into getting into that way sooner than I did. Because when I was growing in the agency, we never really had producers going after it. I never had trainings or even seeing other producers doing it to model after. I was always just trying to figure it out on my own. And so here I am trying to do it now, later in my career, a little bit later. I know I'm still young, so I got plenty of time. But because even in our training course. There's many people older than me just starting, so I know I got time, but I am doing it a little later in my career. But I'm only doing this to equip new producers that come on with all of this knowledge and education to get going way sooner than I did. And so that's what I'm doing, and I want to encourage any salespeople in any field you're in. It doesn't have to be insurance, but I'm learning that you have to always wanting to learn more. You have to be educating yourself constantly, be reading books, taking those courses, and investing in yourself, putting your own money and investing in it. Because the only time I've noticed that I take things seriously is when I put my own money into it and I invest, and I'm really like, I got some skin in the game, right? If it's free content, it really helps, and I'll write it down and I learn from it. Don't get me wrong, YouTube's been great. But something like this, I'm really focused because I did spend a good chunk of money to learn this stuff. And everybody at Sitkins Group so far has been awesome. Everybody, all the producers in the group seem to be like A players. So I'm surrounding myself around better and better people. And I'm just really excited for this chapter in my life. As I focus more on these commercial clients, as I go into a more of a consultative approach and more of an advisor role versus just an insurance agent trying to save you a couple bucks. I've never wanted to be that guy, and I've never wanted to like compete with Geico, right? I've always wanted to be more of a pristine company and a pristine top producer. And so here I am trying to do that. So that's really all I had in this video, was to talk about just salespeople in general and encourage you guys to invest that money in yourselves. That's going to be your best investment, and to just constantly be learning, constantly be educating yourself, trying to get better, because the bar is pretty low in sales. Let's be real. And if you're really investing in yourself and really taking that time to get better, you're really going to stand out. And the best way to make money is to get good at sales. Any organization will hire a good salesperson. I know I will, and I know most companies will, whether you're in insurance or something else. So make sure you're really investing in yourself, taking that time to educate yourself. And that's what I'm doing in this Profit class with Sitkins, and I'm really excited, and I'm going to share more about what I learned in this. But the big thing so far was that 80-20 rule is huge, growing tall and deep versus wide, right? Right now I have this big book of business with small accounts, and it's a headache. I'm a frustrated mess when it comes to this. So I want to really strip out the bulk of clients I have and just really get intentional with bigger, more successful clients. So that's just something that I've learned. That's something that I'm doing right now. And yeah, so if you're in insurance, I encourage you to check out the Sitkins group. They have some really great stuff. They have some really great stuff for new producers, and they have some free content out there as well. Check out Brent Kelly, his podcast. They have some really good stuff. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys today. Hope you got something out of this. If anything, we'll see you guys in the next video.